If you think about it, every stereotype is true. Hi everyone, I'm John Stokes. Welcome to another adventure spelunking through my mind's dark depths. There's been a great deal of bad press about stereotypes. Today, it seems like accusing someone of stereotyping is a quick way to destroy their credibility. I once did a presentation on gender roles, and we asked the audience who checks the back seat of their car before getting in after dark. Nearly every woman raised her hand. One of the ladies made the comment that that's a true stereotype. I found that statement ironic. If you think about it, every stereotype is true to some extent. How else did it become a stereotype? Stereotypes are generalizations. We need generalizations for our survival. If the lion bites us and it hurts, maybe all lions bite, so maybe we should avoid them in the future. This is the kind of generalization that keeps us alive. They're deeply ingrained in the human psyche and are unavoidable. We will never eliminate them. But as is often the case, a strength can become a weakness in the wrong context. We can point to cases where stereotypes cause harm. So how do we deal with those instances? In my experience, stereotypes only become a problem when they move from is to should. Let me explain. We can make a simple statement like, most engineers are men. That's a simple statement that can be backed up with facts. See the links in the description. But when we say most engineers should be men, we create a problem. There is some evidence that biology plays a factor in why more males choose to pursue engineering than females, but that alone doesn't account for the differences. I believe another factor is the stereotype became a should. Management, other engineers, or even the women who pursue engineering believe engineers should be men. And that belief creates a barrier. We leap from what we observe as the norm to enforcing that norm to the exclusion of legitimate exceptions. I could cite many other examples, but since I am an engineer who has hired women engineers, this is an example I know firsthand. How do we combat this? The first step is recognizing there's a problem. If we start feeling uncomfortable in an unfamiliar situation, it's worth taking a moment to ask the question, why? Is there genuinely something wrong, or is it just different? If it's just different, that could reveal where we've created a should. Different isn't necessarily bad. If the new situation we find ourselves in isn't dangerous or outright criminal, perhaps suspend judgment. Thinking it's always been this way is making the norm a should. It doesn't mean there isn't another way things could work, and you may be pleasantly surprised by the exception. Some people complain that the norm develops its own culture, like there's this bro culture among engineers. I disagree with a conspiracy theorist that believes such culture are power plays or intentional barriers to keep people out. An anthropologist I know discovered that men across cultures are more similar than men and women in the same culture. The same is true of women. They're more alike across cultures than they are with men they've grown up with. When people who share similarities like gender or occupation spend time together, familiarity, inside jokes, and shared experiences accumulate. The culture of the group grows organically and will always feel uncomfortable to an outsider, even if the outsider has much in common. This kind of discomfort is usually resolved with time as shared experiences accumulate, assuming the group doesn't allow the norm to become a should. That said, we must also accept that sometimes the stereotype is a good thing, and it's worth relying on. Tearing down a stereotype for no other reason than the fact that it is a stereotype could itself be dangerous. Relying on the stereotype might keep us from getting bitten by a lion. In my example earlier, the women relied on the stereotype to ensure their car was safe before driving away at night. So, most engineers are men. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's also room for women engineers. There's nothing wrong with that either. I admit that what I'm describing isn't simple. Humans' natural tendency to overgeneralize and form in-groups leads us to be skeptical of exceptions to the stereotype. But engaging our minds to balance the norm with the exceptions can lead to great gains. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like and subscribe. And I do offer professional voiceover services if you need that sort of thing. Thanks again.